Hello, and welcome to i-nastava. Today's English class is for the 4th year. The topic is Contemporary Conclusion. My name is Stephanie Kate Lukač, and I'll be your teacher for the day. By the end of the class, you will have summarized the lives of youth in the EU and Croatia. Also, you will have written a travel itinerary. For the class, you'll need something to write with, your notebook, a device with internet connection, and if possible, a QR code scanner. Feel free to pause the video anytime you need. Maybe you hadn't thought about it before, but taking a look at your immediate family and your extended family, I'm sure you have different people, different relatives in these different generations. So you've got the boomers being the oldest generation, then come Generation X, or my generation, so probably your parents. Then you got the Generation Ys, or the millennials, and then you got the Generation Z. So depending on when you were born, you fall most likely underneath the Gen Ys or the Gen Zs. Have you thought about which characteristics or traits that people from each generation have? Well, here's a chance to find out. So by opening the link G-Quirk-A or using the QR code, it'll take you to an article where you'll read about the different generations and what kind of quirks or traits that they usually display. Once you've read through the article, now go take a look at this next link, G-Quirk-M, or use the QR code again, and you have like a little gen guesser where you're going to match the characteristics with the generation. Good luck. I'm sure many times you've compared yourself to other European youth, like, oh, these teens must live better, or maybe you think that they live worse off than you do, or whatever. But I think it's natural in a way to kind of make a comparison between nations, especially since we've come into the EU. So, according to International Youth Day, there's a bunch of different information that you'll find by opening the link HR Youth EU, or again using the QR code, where it takes you to a digital presentation where you'll see lots of different information regarding Croatian and European youth, different aspects of their lives. So what I'd like you to do is, as you go through, take notes so that in the end you can summarize the information that you found, making comparisons and contrasts as well. So whether anything is similar or different, depending on the information that you find. And I'd like you to make an infographic at the end. Don't pause yet because you'll see what to watch out for in the next rubric on the next slide. So before you hand this in to your teacher, please go over the rubric to make sure you have each point. So take a look at your summarization. Have you clearly identified the main points from the article? Have you paraphrased in your own words without directly translating from Croatian to English? How accurate are you? Are the statements accurate and verified by the presentation that you've taken a look at? When it comes to clarity, is it easy to understand due to grammar? Also with vocabulary, are you using a wide range? Are you sticking to more sufficient vocabulary, words, and phrases? How about the errors? Make sure that you go through the spelling check as well, because that's usually a common mistake. And take a look at the design or your creativity. So is it visually appealing? Have you shown creativity through the colors and whatnot? Also on the right, just in case if you're not sure how to make an infographic, you can use this link, see info how, or again the QR code, and it'll take you to the Canva website where it'll show you how you can make an infographic. Good luck. Don't forget to check over and then hand it in to your teacher. Communication complications. Now, this happens to everybody in all generation. I can't really say more so with the youth, but a lot of the time due to impatience, for example, or sometimes irrational behavior or whatnot, some complications do arise. So some of the things that I kind of pointed out were misunderstandings. This, again, is a little bit more common. Maybe somebody had taken something the wrong way, or somebody had said something the wrong way. I know from experience, for example, when I'm speaking in Croatian, sometimes the word that I want to use doesn't come out right, or maybe I said it wrong, or I used the wrong word, and then a misunderstanding happens. Some people have an inability to listen to other people. Um, Sometimes, I would say most likely unintentional, but you kind of, when you're half hearing the person, not paying attention, for example, then there are complications with listening. Dishonesty or lying. Again, some people are the marksman of their trade in being dishonest. Well, it's always better to tell the truth. Let's put it that way. And disrespect. Some people do come across as disrespectful. Maybe they don't mean to. Maybe it's unintentional. But these are just some of the complications that arise when it comes to communication. In order to avoid these complications in communication, I'd like you to go through this video. So by using the link ComTips 5 or the QR code, you'll get to a video where you need to take notes listing what the 5 tips are for improving your communication skills. I think you'll find them very useful. Did you find yourself sometimes finding yourself actually in the video sometimes when they were talking throughout? Well, to go over the 5 tips that you should have taken notes on. So the first tip was aiming for understanding. So no judgment, respect the other person, try to understand where they come from. You don't always need to agree on absolutely everything with the other person who you're talking to, whether it's a friend, family member, an acquaintance, or whatever. Just be respectful. You can agree to disagree. Your second tip, practice active listening. So again, understanding the other person's perspective. You're validating the other person, so you're not putting them down, belittling them. And also pay attention to your nonverbal communication, your eye contact, excuse me, hand holding, this kind of thing. With the third tip, learning to compromise. Some people do find this a little bit more difficult, but as you get older, I think it becomes more of the norm. So you find ways to be in the middle, come up with different solutions so that both parties, whether it's you and another person or 2 other people, so you're kind of like the referee, it's a good idea. It's a good way to, um, well, get in the middle. The fourth tip, respecting the other person, their thoughts and their emotions. So again, showing them that you respect them by being polite, being aware of their feelings, aware of their value. This is another way you can improve your communication skills. And the last tip, I think, is one of the most important, to be honest and open. So this is the only way to really build a meaningful bond or a relationship with another person. Now, sometimes being honest might not mean that you're telling the other person what they want to hear. But again, if you're respectful, so you can still say the truth, tell the truth, what you want to say, but in a tactful and respectful way so that the other person doesn't get hurt. And I mean, in any case, treat other people the way you want to be treated. I always find that to be like one of the most important kind of values in life. Think about this question. What do all generations love to do? I don't think it'll take you a really long time to figure out, especially when you're looking at this photograph. All generations, young and old, love to travel. So one way to travel is by taking a gap year. Now, of course, we're talking about youth either after high school, for example, they take a year off before college or university. Others decide after college or university, before they start looking into the work world, getting their careers in order, also decide to take a gap year. Some different ways. So you've got for work. So some people go to volunteer or do an internship in their future field or future profession. Some just go for the pure enjoyment of traveling, so by sightseeing and relaxing. Others take on a more personal note, so they want to learn more about different cultures and also languages. Some may want to improve their language skills or even like learn a new language. I wouldn't really recommend learning a new language in a different country. You want to have some kind of base and then so you can build on it while you're there. But, hey, to each his own. So take a moment to think about how you would be spending your gap year. Where would you go? What would you do if you had the chance to take a year off, either after high school or after college or university, and travel, well, wherever? It doesn't have to necessarily be the world. It's up to you. So what I'd like you to do is first brainstorm all your ideas. Throw them out there. There's no wrong idea that you have, especially when brainstorming. Then you want to create a plan and finally write a travel itinerary. Now before you pause the video, there are a few more slides I'd like you to go over. So before you start writing this whole travel itinerary and before you start brainstorming or whatever, I'd like you to first go over the different parts that you're going to need. So you're starting off with a short introduction. So you're giving a brief overview and reasons why you'd like to go to this place or these places. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. If you want to choose one place or various, it's up to you. In your second paragraph, give an overview, so a general breakdown of your trip. In your third paragraph, you're looking for a little bit more detailed information. So here, you're taking that general breakdown, you're making it more specific. How much time you want to spend where, what you're going to do, this kind of thing. In your fourth paragraph, you want to give some useful information. So some accommodation where you could stay, the services, transport, your packing list. Really, there's a wide range of things you can put in under useful information. And your last paragraph, of course, is your conclusion. So you want to give your final thoughts and an overall summary, brief summary of what you've written. And hold on one second for the next slide. And before handing it in, go through the rubric to check it over, make sure you got all the parts of your itinerary before handing it in to your teacher. So do you have all the information that's necessary? Is your paragraphing in order? Take a look at your grammar and vocabulary structures. And of course, the length. Good luck on this assignment. And for some final thoughts on closing the connections, I'd like you to write down one country that Croatia is similar to when it comes to the EU, and one country Croatia is different from, again, the European Union. When it comes to you, I'd like you to write down one communication strength that you have and one communication skill that you feel needs improvement. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of yourself.